7 o'clock. Have we heard from Kelly? No.
Okay, doggy, as I say, it's a Monday morning. Good morning. Here we go again, the beginning of yet another week of fun and likely a few misadventures. And that's only in getting the threesome of us together after we find our semi-assigned seats, since we've had a couple of days off. A good and relaxing weekend for all, I assume. And all means you, Lee. Where's Kelly? Is she coming in today, or do we know? I don't know. I don't think I got a note. How are you?
I'm very, very good. It was a good weekend. Saturday, I was able to get all the yard work done before the monsoons hit.
Did we get monsoons? I don't know. We had some rain. I don't remember.
We had some. I had. Yeah. I know when I checked my rain gauge Saturday, and that was halfway through the day, it was over a half an inch, under an inch. But yeah. I understand that we may be getting some heavy rain come in tonight and tomorrow. So.
Oh, they claim there's a possibility of that. There's a chance there isn't.
The farmers need it. We need it.
Farmers definitely need it. We have a deficit in rainfall.
We do.
So, we do. It'd be great to get something in here.
Did you talk about the garden looking good right now?
Mine's looking pretty good. I even got cantaloupes that are, the plants are growing big. I got some little tiny tomatoes on my sweet 100s, and then I bought more plants.
You did?
Friday. Yeah. So you'll have a couple of extra ones because I can only buy them in 4-packs. I refuse to pay $3 and something for one single plant that's about,
right.
4 inches taller than the smaller plants that I get for $2.49. Okay, so I get 4. They're going to grow. I don't need them that big to begin with.
Well, I'm sad to say I bought some verbena, which is
what?
Verbena. They're like flower plants, and they're good pollinators.
I'm
sorry to say, I bought them at a big plant sale recently, and they all have died.
Well, what did you do to them?
I planted them.
It had to be your fault.
Certainly.
Not that. There she is. We weren't completely sure because we know it's a special week for you.
We know it's birthday week.
It is.
Yeah, huh? Kelly is here.
I'm here. I couldn't get out of my neighborhood. There were 4 cars ahead of me. I timed it 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the holdup was. I mean, I guess everybody coming in on 17 going to Jacksonville, but
yeah,
you can't go around. I mean, I was stuck. So I was aggravated, but it was a good song on my playlist, but still not the point.
Have you thought about maybe moving?
No, I'm so centrally located.
Or get like a flying machine you can just hover and.
Hey, did you see the military was testing jetpacks? Saw the video this weekend.
They've been testing those since the 60s.
I'm getting a jetpack.
Well, Kelly and I found some really, really nifty little, they're kind of like mopeds, but they're decorative.
Yes. And they're like animal shaped. Lee and I are going to get one of those.
Yeah, that's what we're going to use in the parade.
Just to
warn you.
Bet.
There are power lines and things in that parade.
No, we're talking about not for jetpack, for the ride on.
These are ride-ons.
Yeah.
We got to embarrass you good.
Where did you change?
Lee did because but the jetpack's going to take me a while. It's $70,000. I got to save up a little money.
$70,000.
I cannot find me a loan if you get that much. If you get that much money.
Well, I don't know that a bank would loan me money for a jetpack. I was going to say, I can't say I want a jetpack.
Let's take a look at your history.
Oh, my gosh.
What do you mean by history?
Mishaps? Like falling down the stairs, walking outside.
That was falling up the stairs at the Capitol. Let's be real. Let's be clear. It was up the stairs.
That's even worse.
But a jetpack would be, how I would have no traffic. I could get everywhere I needed to go. Not bothered by anybody. Nothing. Maybe an occasional flying bird. But
yeah, right. Slapping turf.
I know that would be what would happen.
Because
Kelly, by a hummingbird.
I'm telling you, I'm going to get a jetpack, just like I'm getting an alpaca. Those are 2 things I will have.
Can your alpaca fly?
No.
Well, you need to get something with wings, like a big parrot or something.
Can we?
They can fly along with you.
Yeah, I can't do that. But Lee and I are going to get our little.
Did you ever see the story decades ago, the video of a guy that had a lighter than air type aircraft, a hang glider with a motor on it? And he would be flying along, and he would get up there and go with the formation of geese that were flying south.
No, I hadn't seen
It was
that.
a massive, beautiful video that was done. I have just thought about that I have to pull that.
I need to
I
check
know
that
it's
out.
somewhere on YouTube. So anyway, that was
We'll get
really
into
cool.
it, but-
I'll have to check
They
that
got to
one
know
out.
him. He was flying right along with them, or they were flying right along with him. And
Well, they were his friends.
yeah, and so it's kind of cool. Anyway.
Well, I like that.
Okay, we'll do back a little historical stuff today. Tragic end of the kidnapping of aviation pioneer Charles Lindbergh, when his baby's body was discovered, happened on this date, the 12th of May in 1932. The 20-month-old baby was found in a rural area outside of Hopewell, New Jersey. The toddler was taken from the couple's nursery on the second floor of their home more than 2 months earlier on the first day of March.
Do they know who took the baby?
Yes,
Oh,
I'll show you all of it.
okay.
There's some disputes about it, but I'm sure they got the right person. A ransom note was found on the second-story windowsill demanding $50,000. In a search at the kidnapping scene, traces of mud found on the floor inside the nursery, footprints, couldn't measure them, they were just scuff marks, were found under the nursery window. 2 broken sections of a wooden ladder that was used to reach the window was recovered. The ladder was not part of the homestead. It was brought there. There were no bloodstains in or about the nursery, nor were there any fingerprints. The state police of New Jersey had jurisdiction. The Lindbergh kidnapping case changed things, and today most kidnappings fall under the jurisdiction of the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
Over the weeks after the kidnapping, a series of kidnapping notes escalated, ransom notes escalated the ransom demands up to about $100,000. Through a third party, the money was handed off to a man who disappeared into a wooded area in April. The promised safe return of the baby did not happen. On May 12th, a maintenance man working in an area found the site of a makeshift shallow grave about 4 miles from the Lindbergh home, just off the road. Baby Lindbergh died of a blow to the head, and a large hole was in the skull that was recovered. Some of the boy's limbs were missing.
Oh, my Lord.
He had been dead for an estimated 2 months, most likely since the night he was kidnapped.
Oh, no.
That's when it was decided that the FBI would be the lead agency on the case. They distributed the serial numbers of several $1,000s in gold certificates. They were then in circulation, but they were still kind of rare. That was part of the ransom. Banks, cashiers at supermarkets, most anyone handling cash were supplied with the serial numbers, and they were told to pay close attention to any gold certificates that were coming in. 2.5 years later, 16 of those gold certificates were passed in Yorkville and Harlem, New York. The description of the man passing the bills fit the description provided by the Lindbergh friend who handed the ransom money over, and the description of a man provided by a cab driver who was handed one of the ransom notes. There were 14 ransom notes total. An alert gas station attendant took a $10 gold certificate from a man who used it to pay for gasoline. The attendant wrote the license plate number of the car on the certificate. It wasn't long before the combined law enforcement agencies arrested Bruno Richard Hauptmann, a German carpenter who had been in the United States illegally for 11 years. Agents found thousands of dollars in the ransom money in his house, even found a $20 gold reserve bill in his wallet that matched the ransom stuff at the time of the arrest. Before the arrest, Hauptmann had married a New York waitress. He was charged with kidnapping, extortion, and murder, found guilty, sentenced to die, and was electrocuted 4 years after the kidnapping. And here we
Wow.
sit in North Carolina with one person still awaiting execution while whiling away on death row for the last 40 years.
Yep.
I don't think we introduced ourselves. I'm Rayford Brown. You're Kelly Knapp,
I'm killing that.
and you are
Lee Barrels, I think.
on the phone. Good morning. Who's this?
Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie, very quickly.
How are you?
I'm living my life. First of all, it's horrible what happened to that Lindbergh
It
child. but nothing surprises me. Human beings are good. Human beings are horrible. Quick question: did you guys get a chance to watch, to read Trump's Truth Social post yesterday about Medicare and all the drugs?
I did not.
Prescription drugs?
I did not.
I did. I saw it.
Oh, this is one of the most magnificent things. This is one of the greatest things ever. You know how? Listen, there's an antipsychotic drug called Abilify. It costs $34.51 in the U.S. It sells in Canada. How much do you think that same drug in Canada sells for? It sells for $35 here in the U.S.
Probably
How much do you think it sells
$1.50.
for in Canada?
Probably
$4.65.
God.
Here's the deal. Trump tomorrow morning, today at 9 a.m., he's going to sign this bill called policy. What that means is it sells in a little town in India for 8 cents. If it's an aspirin, it's going to sell in the USA for 8 cents. No more of this 10 times the thing. This is a wonderful thing. And I've been going to different websites like CNN, Huffington Post, Fox News. The Republican sites are really hyping this up, but none of the Democratic websites are hyping this up. This is a coup. This is a wonderful thing.
I'll have to take a look at it. I just didn't have a chance to read it.
Yeah, he's talking slashing drug prices from 30 to 80%.
Yeah, I saw a headline
I like
on that. So, well, here's let me ask you a question. Do you think that will perhaps stop some of these drug companies, some of these folks in the United States who have to pay more for the money, more for that particular pill than they pay in India or China or Canada or whatever? If the drug retailers, the drug stores here in this country cannot buy that drug from the manufacturers of that drug for the same price they can buy it from Canada, maybe they should just buy it from Canada. Same drug, buy it from Canada.
From my understanding, a lot of these drugs are manufactured in the United States, and the reason why they justify charging more is because of all the extensive research.
Yep.
I'm not smart enough. I haven't dissected the whole thing. Here's what I hope is going to happen. They're going to find the lowest price drug for every drug in the world, the lowest price where it sells, and American citizens are going to pay that exact same price. So that means that the drug manufacturers, they're going to lose a lot. The stock market is going to go nuts today. That means that they're going to have to. What's that?
I said probably. About the stock market going nuts. About the stock market going. The stock market going nuts. Probably it will be.
Well, here's another. Okay, there's a drug. There's a thing called Nexium. It's a stomach acid drug.
I take it every day.
It sells for $7. It sells for $8 in the U.S., but it sells for $3 in Canada. The whole
$8 for what? $8 a pill?
Yes, it's a
That's baloney.
Drug.
That's baloney. I pay 30.
Okay, maybe baloney.
I pay 30. Whoa! You're dealing with a guy who uses it. I paid $32 for 42 pills. That's not $8.
Okay,
How much is that?
okay, but I'm not sure what your insurance policy is.
Nothing. This is over the counter.
Okay, this is a website called drugwatch.com. Who knows? Maybe it's some guy that lives in Alton, Illinois, and he made this website up. Here's what I think happened. I think we spend much more in the United States of America per pill than any other country in the world. Do you agree with that?
Likely, yes, I do agree with that.
Well, I think if it comes out and if Trump says, listen, they're selling an aspirin in the U.S. for $10, but they're selling in India for 14 cents, we're going to pay 14 cents. I think it's going to change the whole trajectory of all the drugs manufacturing around the world.
I don't dispute you. I agree with that, and it should. But who's going to pay for the research and development? Are the R&D companies just going to stop doing it?
We're going to raise the prices to all the countries around the world. They're going to make them pay their fair share.
In other words, we're not going to get it any cheaper. They're just going to have to pay more.
Right. No, we're not going to subsidize anything. We're not going to say, listen, we're sorry that you live in an impoverished country. You're going to pay the exact same rate as our country. And the whole system is going to start flipping. It's probably going to be a disaster for a lot of third world countries.
Well, that's not my problem.
You know what? You're right. So listen, I'm not educated or articulate enough to break this down. I just think it's going to be cool if we all pay the same price as what third world countries pay.
Or they pay the same price we pay.
Well, yeah, that's going to happen. He's signing it today at 9 a.m.
I'm good with that. I got no problem with that. If that's going to be the bottom line, I got no problem with it.
All right. Well, I appreciate your support.
Yeah, absolutely. We've harped on this before. I raised Cain because you can get a prescription for a certain drug. My problem was going to Mexico. It scared me. But if Mexico, the people, the drug distributors in Mexico, the pill poppers in Mexico are buying it from our manufacturers cheaper than my drugstore can buy it from our manufacturers, that's where the problem is. That's where the poop hits the fan, as far as I'm concerned.
Let me ask you one last question. Did you get a chance to watch those representatives in New York? I think they're Congress people.
I got a story on it. Hang in there.
Ridiculous.
I got a story and comments. You hang in there.
I hope they get locked up.
All right. You guys have a good day.
Thank you.
You too.
Well, they already got the mayor. So we'll
On
have
what
to wait and see.
Trump's announcement about the drug prices, he said, "I will be instituting a most favored nations policy where the United States will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world."
It's not a problem with me.
I'm loving it.
Not a problem with me. Did you know that at one time, I don't know whether it's still the case or not, because I don't do political advertising. I would have to do a double check here. But at one time, let's just say on a radio or TV station, there's a company that buys $1 million worth of ads in a year, right?
Right.
They're going to get a pretty good rate, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
As somebody who goes out and spends
I would think so.
$150 for a month's worth of ads. But did you know that at one time, all political advertising, if you bought only $150 worth of ads in a month, you got it at the same rate that the guy who spent $1 million did per spot. That's just not right. That wasn't right then. It's not right now. If it's still going on, I'll have to check. So anyway.
I agree.
Wow. There's a chance that U.S. manufacturers are going to be able to sell their stuff once again in China without Chinese consumers having to cough up U.S. imposed tariffs that would have shot up the prices a lot. I know remember the Trump promise when he was running for office to raise the tariffs that countries, especially China, would be paying, because many of those countries had implemented tariffs that pretty well shut out a lot of U.S. companies from doing business in their countries. China was one of those. A lot of other countries, they added high tariffs to encourage their citizens to buy Chinese-produced products, not U.S. products. The whammy for U.S. consumers with the inflated taxes that the Trump administration put on those products that were coming was that the cheap stuff we seem to love was going to cost us as much as quality produced products in the U.S. if there actually existed affordable U.S. made products. That was the problem we were going to be facing. Mm-hmm. We were going to have to buy U.S. products because China will also raise the tariffs on their junk. Mm-hmm. But we generally don't produce a lot in this country, cheap products, to compete with Chinese cheap products, right? But if we can't get their cheap products, then we got to pay several times over for our products. Yeah, it's better made in the U.S.
When you say cheap, you meaning cheap price or cheaply made?
Cheap quality.
Okay, well then, if you really think about this long and hard, if you have to rebuy something because it's a piece of crap and
but
it doesn't last
don't
long.
Think that way.
Well, I do though.
You're not normal.
I know. We all know that. Everybody knows that.
But the normal person will go out and spend 49 cents for something that would cost us $4 for a decent made piece. They'll spend 49 cents for it. Well, it's going to break anyway.
But if my $4 lasts longer, I'm not going to have to buy it.
Maybe I don't need it to last longer. Maybe it's a one-time event.
Is there anything they make these days that lasts as long as they should?
I doubt it.
It's like you can go out and buy a new phone. A couple of years from now, you're having to buy another one.
Oh, no. You're having to buy it because it's built in that it's not going to work anymore. It's not going to be supported anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of like Windows this and Windows that. Once they stop supporting it, then you're going to have to pay for another one. Yep. You got to buy another computer because the new computer won't handle the new Windows program.
And that's another thing that just irks me. We used to buy a computer back in the day. All those programs came on the computer, like Microsoft Works, everything.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Nowadays, you buy a
Whether
computer.
you wanted it or not.
You have to buy all that stuff extra to add it. Just to do a report on your computer, you have to have either Microsoft 365 or you've got to have Adobe. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, to fill out a form, to type something, you've got to have this, and this.
I mean, I use Google and I use their documents, but still trying to transfer that into Adobe to attach it to this or that. You've still got to have the other program. It's so aggravating.
Anyway, during the weekend, it was announced that the United States and China met for 10 long hours with
Yes.
Trump saying that we would be getting a fair deal with China. The president said that a tentative deal had been made, that progress was made, and that he looks forward to working with China and other countries that wants a fair trade arrangement with the United States. Here's hoping. I was actually hoping that some of our manufacturers that had moved out of the U.S. to take advantage of cheap labor in other countries would come back home and do the right thing here. It matters not that we will likely be sharing the trade swapping bed with the Chinese soon. What happens the day that China decides to shut down its trade arrangements with the U.S.? We get none of the stuff we need to keep our country viable. If that happens, we won't be set up.
Sure.
The companies won't be tooled up, and we'll be at the beck and call of the Chinese Communist Party. Maybe the smart move now would be to encourage companies that can produce all of the essential parts needed by U.S. manufacturers who build cars or other things that may depend on China-made products to get ready to make those parts we get from other places. We got a company here in Oslo County. Y'all don't know a whole lot about it. I didn't either until about a month ago. I'm going to have him in here. It's in Hubert. They make all sorts of things of metal. They got a major thing there. They build, you've seen on the barrel end, the forward end of an M16 or some of the military weapons, a little thing that's clamped on, it's a device.
Right.
You know what that red device is for? No, it's not a sight. You know what? It's put on there so they can use blanks in that gun. Blanks, if you're shooting blanks, like they shoot blanks when they're practicing, right?
Right.
If you shoot blanks, it will not recoil. There is no recoil enough to eject the casing, so therefore your semi-automatic or fully automatic weapon won't cycle.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
So they put a little blockage. It just screws right on. It's very red. You can see that it's there, and it's very visible. You know that it's loaded. You put a live round in there, it's going to go boom. Your gun's going to explode. So you knew better. But they're manufactured in Hubert, North Carolina. Did you know that? You
Did not.
Did you know that Remington Arms, it's a big gun company, right? Mm-hmm. This company makes those tiny little firing pins for their guns. I mean, we're talking about a small little device, stainless steel, hard, to certain specifications. They make them in Hubert. They make all sorts of products there. I'm going to get the gentleman there. He was a friend of my dad. They started this business a few months. Y'all drive to Swansboro every night in October.
Oh, of course, yes.
You ever see that big old witch hanging up from a crane there?
Yes.
That's
over
where
there
the company
at,
is.
Nice.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's
Robert Fisher.
Yes, Robert Fisher's Fisher. What's the name of his?
He's got a cup of Fish Strong is one of them.
Fish Strong is what I'm
going to get him in
thinking
here
of.
to talk about that because that's one of the charities that they deal with.
Oh, well, now I know who you're talking about. I can get up with him.
Oh, I got his number. I got his cell
good.
number. I've already had to chat with him.
Oh, very good.
So I'll be in touch with him. We'll have him in here soon. But there are things that can be done that we can do in this country to take care of ourselves. We do not have to get Chinese-made firing pins that'll break.
Very true.
So, if we need to consider these kinds of things. Do it at home, y'all. If you want to import some of the cheap junk to give away for your kids at Christmas time so they're going to break it on the day after Christmas anyway, it's okay. You can do that. but just support U.S. made products first.
I agree.
Okay, a low pressure system that brought some unsettled weather to the coastal area during the last part of the weekend should dissipate by midweek, with high pressure coming in the last part of the week. Offshore today, out to 20 nautical miles, this system it's played havoc with the water. Southeasterly winds today, 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 5 feet, about 8 seconds apart, sounds and rivers choppy. The ocean will be salty and wet, and there's a chance your boat will get a freshwater rain bath today. Did you figure out what I just said?
I heard that. I'm ignoring it.
You mean it's going to rain?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, southerly winds 15 to 20 knots with gusts up to 25, seas 5 to 6 feet, sounds and rivers choppy, more showers. Wednesday, southwesterly winds around 10 knots coming down. That's nice. Ocean a lot calmer, 3 to 5 foot seas, sounds and rivers light chop.
All right, folks. Today, showers and thunderstorms, very, very likely. Some of the storms could produce heavy rainfall. The high will only be near 76. Our winds will be from the southeast, 7 to 13 miles an hour with 18-mile-an-hour gusts. We also are expecting between 1 to 2 inches of rain, possibly. Tonight, a little more of the same. Heavy rainfall with the showers and some of the thunderstorms. Low of 67. Another 1 to 2 inches of rain. Tomorrow, good gracious alive. The same, roughly, a high of 79 tomorrow with 17-mile-an-hour gusts. However, the rainfall tomorrow up to an inch. Tomorrow night, still having it. The low will be 64. Wednesday, good gracious, more of the same. But Wednesday, it kind of tapers off a little bit. We're only at a 70% chance. And a high of 82.
What's Thursday?
And we're down to a half an
I want to know
inch.
about Thursday.
Thursday is sunny, high of 87.
For a special reason,
For my
right?
day, yes.
There you
right.
go. Your boy's day.
Yeah, my day.
This is Dave Jordan from WITN TV. I've been looking into the case of Kevin Smith. The Craven County man had 17 charges filed against him back in 2016 from both Craven and Onslow counties. Serious charges of rape and assaulting prostitutes. He spent nearly 6 years behind bars, but his case never went to trial. All of the felony charges dropped or dismissed. Now Smith and others are asking, how could something like this happen? We'll hear from him, a retired FBI special agent, and also what the district attorneys in Craven and Onslow County are saying, as well as the Craven County Sheriff's Office, coming up on Monday and Tuesday on WITN News at 6.
That's going to be tonight, y'all. You need to pay attention to it. That's a story that was broken here first. We don't break news. We don't do news, but it's a story that we had an opportunity we could spend a considerable period of time on, and you may want to take a look at it. Dave Jordan and company, well, he came down here and spent a long time with Kevin Smith and also with the FBI retired agent that he's talking about is John Legato, who should be joining us tomorrow morning if all goes well. He's up in another county right now, but he'll be back later today, so he should be joining us tomorrow. It's a case that I don't know what the final result is going to be. I don't know what Dave came up with, but I know that it's going to be interesting one way or the other. So take a look at that one.
Oh, yes.
It's been almost 2 weeks since a woman was killed, her husband and son seriously injured, and the pit bull they were walking also killed. Happened in Madison, Wisconsin after a man sought revenge on the son for some sort of argument the 13-year-old boy had with his kid back in March. Just hours after reading the police report of that incident in March, 49-year-old Jeffrey Andres intentionally drove his car into the family while they were walking. The mother, Cammie Hansen, was thrown 25 to 30 feet, dead at the scene. Her 13-year-old son suffered a concussion and had to undergo surgery. The husband, Paul Hansen, treated for various injuries. The pit bull killed.
Wow.
The driver of that car was jailed on murder charges. Yep, it was intentional. An Uber driver testified that he saw the driver, speeding up as he was approaching the family while they were walking. Last week, 2 weeks after the attack, his body was found in his jail cell. It's thought to be a suicide, but a complete report is pending the investigation. What happened between the 13-year-old boy and the minor child of the other family is not known. All it is, they say it's a sensitive issue. But it was enough that just a few hours after this father of the other child read the police report.
Wow.
He got into his car and went looking. One dead, one seriously injured, family ripped apart, the other family ripped apart, a parent on each side dead. And the investigation is ongoing, involving the 13-year-old boy, the victim on the other family, or the victim that they say was a victim in the police report. Don't know what he was. Both minor children. Daddy took matters into his own hands. Killed a woman. Killed a dog. And whether justified or not, injured the son.
Right.
That's terrible. That's a terrible story. Terrible.
Well, I got a terrible story out of Kinston.
Kinston.
I was going to talk about Friday, but unable to. So the Piggly Wiggly.
Oh, yes.
What?
Piggly Wiggly, people shop there. Thursday afternoon, about 4:45.
Yeah.
Some drunk lady drove her SUV right through the front door.
Oh,
Yeah.
was that the Piggly
Yeah.
Wiggly? I heard about the
Yep,
story,
and
but I
it's-
didn't hear about that.
First thing I did
Didn't know
was
what it
check
was.
to see if they were having the weather day there.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's on Wednesdays. We'll talk.
Right.
And then apparently she attempted to elude, so she drove out of the pig with the
She backed up.
Yes.
Yeah, she did.
And she was on. She got as far as the AutoZone on 70 right there in Kinston, and
She needed parts.
caught. Yeah, probably because they're all in the
radiator.
in the front of the store. She actually injured a female in the store.
Lord,
Gets
mercy.
better. She had a 10-month-old unrestrained child in the front
There
seat.
goes felony
Yep.
child abuse.
Well, she got misdemeanor child abuse, which
What?
I disagree with.
I
yes.
disagree too. I'm right there with
Reckless
you.
driving and child not in rear seat, and said no bond because she was also a DUI or DWI. What they charged with?
DWI.
DUI, driving while intoxicated. They gave her a DUI, but
There's no such
that's
DWI.
just- oh, yeah, but it says on here. But yes,
There's-
so she
The
got
news
DWI.
reporter.
But yeah, I
The
know.
reporters don't know the
Yeah.
difference.
But I agree that child abuse should be
It should have
felony.
been felony child
I agree.
abuse.
I agree.
I agree, and
If
child
you're
not.
in the car, you're drunk, and you drive into a building, and then you speed away with
And your child's not even in a car seat and in the front
and
seat.
not in the, and is in the front seat, not in
Yeah.
the car seat. No.
At
that's
10
felony.
months, 10 months
Maybe.
old.
Well, that's okay. They got plenty of time to amend those
Yeah,
charges.
there you go. That's what I was gonna
suspect
say.
the Lenore DA will be doing
I
that.
hope so, because this is awful. And then,
Oh, no.
yeah, a female was injured in the store. Didn't say if it was adult or worker or like an employee, a shopper. Yeah, just trying to go buy your groceries, right? That's prime time, 4:45. It gets busy at a grocery store around that time. Just trying to buy your groceries at the pig, and somebody drives through the front of it. And she was in an SUV, which is even a bigger vehicle than would be some tiny small car.
The DWI explains a whole lot, but there are so many people. Those big poles, about 6-inch poles, steel filled up with concrete that are embedded in front of a lot of stores.
Yes,
Reason for that.
I
Oh,
agree
yes.
with that.
Piggly Wiggly might
Mhm.
want to reconsider and keep it there
Agree with
Did
that
you
too.
remember-
after the horses left the barn.
Yes.
Do you remember Gibson's when it was here on Belfork Road?
Yes, I do.
I happened to be working there just right out of high school, and I was standing at the front desk because I worked the courtesy desk is what it's called. And one night we had someone drive right through the
Really?
plate glass windows. You talk about it, and that was probably 25 feet from where I was
And
standing.
you were running.
I was just standing there like, what happened?
You didn't go fleet of
Well,
foot
actually,
somewhere?
I got on the intercom. I was on the intercom, and when the vehicle hit the
You didn't
front
say
of the
holy
building,
anything, did you?
they say I said one bad word, which I probably
I always
did.
said a bunch of bad words.
I think it was oh shucks,
Dadgummit.
oh shucks. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Oh shoot. But I don't
Don't keep
recall.
going because you're going to screw up in a minute.
She
I know,
will.
I will.
I'm hoping she
I
will. So I'm
don't-
not saying anything, Rayford. Let's
I
see if
don't-
She does it.
I don't recall, but I remember when that and what they hit the gas instead of the brake.
Yeah, that
That-
happens, unfortunately.
That's
It
crazy.
used to happen quite a bit when people had a clutch
Yes. Oh,
and they weren't accustomed to driving
yes.
clutch.
Be me.
Instead of the clutch and the brake, they would hit the accelerator, and then they try to hit the brake, and then they just got it all confused.
Yeah.
You ever ride around drive with anybody when automatic came out? That was way after your time. Did you ever drive around
used
somebody
to the clutch?
and they were used to the clutch and they would keep their left foot on the brake?
Mm-hmm.
If you drive down the highway, my dad would say, here's what you got to watch out for. You're going to run up on some people from time to time. Don't get up there, because don't count on him having brake lights, because he's riding his brakes. He's just touching it. And that's all you got to do is barely touch the brake pedal, and the brake lights come on. And that was one of the things idiots used to do. God, you might want to lock the door, because I'm going to make people mad.
Oh, go. Well,
if you're not a white guy,
oh God,
a white male, you don't stand a chance of getting the Democratic nomination to run against whoever the Republicans put up in 2028. Did you know that?
I knew you were going to bring this up.
That's what Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett says. She claims that the Democrats will only choose a white boy in 2028. Cricket, a black Democrat, says whoever gets the nod will only do so if a select group of powerful donors say it's okay. She's black. She's a Democrat. She's dissing everybody. Here's the real kicker here. Congresswoman Crockett admits that that's the way it happened with Joe Biden. Really? Even though Kamala Harris, the woman who stood no chance in 2024, was chosen, it was only done because the DNC had no choice, given the late withdrawal of Biden from the race, at the insistence, of course, of the party's leaders. Harris is making a little noise, along with a few white guys, about going after the nomination this time the right way, giving the Democrat voters a say. Good for her. But Crockett pretty much says to Harris, all people of color and all women, forget about it. Is she right? I think so. But likely for different reasons than she's given.
Well, I hope so.
If the only reason a black male or a woman of any race wants to run for office is to run on their race or gender, then yeah, I think the American public has decided it needs and wants something else. A candidate with credentials and a platform to get the country back on the right track would be a start, not a platform that gives unequal support to women, minorities, or straight white males. If the best and only thing a candidate can say is, I'm a woman and it's time we elect a woman to be president, no. Why? That would be my question. Is it to show that the majority of Americans are more concerned about the social issue of electing a woman? What if a black male should step up to the plate, tell us to ignore the fact that he's a man and that he's black, and proceeds to lay out a plan of action to attack the issues that all of us are dealing with every day? Crime, ridiculous prices for inferior products and services, politicians getting richer while they're in office, the crisis at the southern border mixed with the drug crisis that is resulting in hundreds of thousands of deaths of Americans every year. We've heard about those issues. We talk about them on here all the time. Mm-hmm. Kelly complains about them.
Yes, I do.
We've been told that it's not as bad as what we hear, and nothing gets done. Not sure about you, but I'm tired of lip service. I could care less if a paraplegic 60-year-old hippie can show a plan with an end result, a plan that he or she can show me how, step by step, how it would work without taking our rights and our wealth, such as it is, away, then I would be on board with him or her. Full speed ahead. But campaigning on the fact that it's about time to elect a successful airline pilot, a great businessman, or the best chef in the world, or even a war veteran because he or she is simply a veteran and can show me nothing to attack our problems that we know exist, just go home and leave the work to someone with a real plan. I'm looking for Republican, Democrat, or other. Male, female, or other.
We got surprising news this weekend.
What's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene
Yes.
Decided she's not going to run again.
No,
makes
the
me
people
happy.
have decided that she should not be running again.
Lee has a theory though.
Yes.
Lee
She don't
thinks-
come in at the last minute.
No,
No.
Lee thinks that Trump is going to be offering her some kind of cabinet position or some kind of position.
Some kind of position.
That's what Lee thinks.
Why?
Like ambassador to Sweden
she's
or
such
something.
a-
Zimbabwe.
I don't know, but I
Well, she's
just
such a
do not
strong
like her.
supporter of Trump, and
Yeah.
she was
And she's
with
so
him through
outspoken.
everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's
Oh,
he got to gain by it?
She-
He can't
well,
run again.
she's out of Congress. Who wants to be in there? They're all crazy right now.
I don't like her. Never have. I think she's a weirdo.
She's a
She's
wacko.
weighing.
She's
la,
just
la, la.
wacky. Yes.
She's,
Just wacky.
I mean, I believe in speaking your mind to the point of being
If you've got
outspoken, but some of her, she just goes off the rails.
Yeah, you've got to have a mind before you should be speaking, especially if you want me to listen to you.
She's just a little bit too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, me too. I'm not a fan of her.
Well,
Never
you know,
have been.
Pete's back in the news again.
Pete.
Princeton
Peg says-
student newspapers is accusing him of plagiarism.
What?
Who is
Yes.
Pete?
Pete
Peg says-
Hedgeseth.
Oh, I
Sorry.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his alma mater. The Daily Princetonian alleges that Hedgeseth accused of plagiarism that alleges that his 2003 senior thesis contains 8 instances of uncredited material, sham paraphrasing, and verbatim
From
copying.
22 years ago.
Yeah.
And y'all just came up with this now?
Well, they
Oh,
got it
oh
hard
my
somewhere.
God.
in there.
His thesis was titled Modern Presidential Rhetoric in the Cold Water Context.
The cold what?
Cold War context.
Oh, I
Did
thought you
say
said water.
said
I
water.
did say
Yeah.
water. I'm reading ahead.
Gotcha. Oh, my.
There's a big picture of water right next to it. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, that, well, that's what happens when you're in an elected position. People are going to be looking to see what you did as a toddler. So
Mhm.
I just, really, come on now.
I don't know. I give Pete 6 more months.
You think he'll last 6 more months?
Maybe.
I
That
gave him
put him in
6
another
months
position.
to begin with, and we're at 5 now.
Yeah, maybe we'll get maybe they can make him CIA director or something.
Yeah.
Coming up 8 o'clock here, we're going to be chatting with the young lady. We met her when she was during the pandemic.
She was the assistant county manager at one time at
And
Onslow
she was
County.
also heavily involved in the some of the activities during the pandemic over the health department.
Yeah, she
all that
was.
sort of good stuff. Anyway, Sherry Slater, she's now serving as the interim director of senior services in Carteret County, and she's going to join us this morning to talk about some of their programs. We don't get as much as out of Carteret County as we should, and it doesn't matter. All of our surrounding counties, they're important to us because there's nobody around here that's not impacted by stuff that happens in Carteret County, Pender County, even Lenoir County, Jones County to a certain extent, because you got to drive through there to get to Newburgh, Craven County. I go to pretty much all of these counties. I haven't been to Lenoir in a while, but pretty much all of the others, at least once a month, I'm around, up and down and back. And I was in Carteret last week for a dental appointment, and also Shrimp was in just on the border. So anyway, it's all close. in that
Would
neck of the
you
woods.
read her title again for me, please?
Action
Interim Senior.
Services Director.
Yeah, something like that. I've got it here. Senior service. I don't know. Let me find her again.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that in there because I didn't.
You should have listened to it the first time.
She was busy typing it.
You just said it.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it fast enough.
Well,
It's all right. I think I have it right.
it's a good thing.
Interim Senior Services Director with
That's it. For
Carteret County Government. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Well, I just want to make sure it's right. I want to do her
Maybe I will
justice.
slow down next time. I'll speak Southern for you. You know why Northern men like Southern women? I'm not going to tell you that.
Bless your heart. Do tell us.
No. Here's another cold case story. one that was solved by a couple of detectives using a pretty unique technique. What started as a way for a pair of two Illinois detectives to crowdsource the tips that they get to solve decades-old cold cases has ended in a shocking discovery. Detectives Andrew Houghton and Matt Vartinian were looking to breathe new life into unsolved cases by launching the true crime podcast called Somebody Knows Something. They did it in October last year at the request of the police chief. The chief said, we got a lot of cold cases. Why don't we start looking at them in a different way? Typically, cold cases are dusted off from time to time. A detective might be bored out of his mind. He's on the midnight shift or working late nights, and he's got really nothing going on at that time. And there's not a lot of people he can go out and start interviewing, right? On the late shift. So he or she will just look through some of the files and say, hey, this one sounds interesting. I wonder why we didn't get this one solved. Okay. The pair combed through open cold cases within their area. That was the first step. Had to pick one that was really strange, they said. They wanted to see what they could do. They zeroed in on the disappearance of 23-year-old Karen Shepard in 1983. The young woman was enjoying a night of celebratory drinks with coworkers at a bar in Carpentersville, Illinois, about 45 miles from Chicago. Shepard was the last of the group to leave the bar at about 1 a.m. on April 16, 1983. Neither she nor her 1980 Toyota Celica were ever seen again.
My.
Theories were presented by cops, by family, by people in the community. The only thing that was concrete, she left the bar, driving towards her home, and simply vanished, leaving no trace, no clues. The investigation was revisited twice in the next 41 years. Nothing came of it either time. The detectives launched the podcast, putting everything that was factual for the public to see. In other words, they laid everything out there, which is so often and too often not what happens. They're looking to preserve stuff just so they'll have some evidence to try somebody with, right? Well, they decided to look at the likely route the missing person would have used. I would assume that was done to begin with. They checked the weather conditions in the area at that time. They went through the newspapers and looked back at what the weather was at 1 o'clock in the morning, April 16th, 1983. Smart move.
Wow.
As the detectives were poring over print media, they discovered the nearby Fox River had been flooded at the time of Shepard's disappearance, a key break in the case that prompted them to call in expert divers to search that body of water. The river, normally shallow along the edges, 1 to 2 feet deep. Fishermen fished it all the time. In fact, one of these detectives is a fisherman. He fished it. He knew how shallow that water was. But he wasn't around in 1983 with the police force. It had flooded at the time, making the water much deeper. Further out in the river, the water was normally as deep as 15 feet. Car, river, flood, it floats for a while.
Yeah.
If it's deep enough to float it.
Yes.
So in March this year, 41 years after Shepard's disappeared, members of the Chaos Divers, I like it, they're a nonprofit team of independent divers specializing in underwater recovery. I've heard of them before. They've been in a lot of cases. They were asked to search the river. They found the car. It was recovered with the missing woman's body inside. Dental records confirmed the identity. The victim's mother was notified. She's 90. And her daughter's sapphire birthstone ring and class of 1977 high school graduation tassel were given to her by the detectives.
Oh, how
Closure.
awesome. Awesome.
Makes it all worthwhile.
Yes. Sad story.
It's a sad story, but it makes it
Yes.
all worthwhile when you do something like that.
Yes.
So
I do agree with that.
what you guys do over the weekend? It's Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Grandmother's Day.
Mhm.
It's grandmother's week.
Yeah, you got grandbaby all week, huh?
Yeah, I went to Hampstead yesterday and spent the afternoon with the family there, and my granddaughter decided to come back with me. So she's hopefully asleep.
Why? You wanted to say something
Paco
about
kept
her?
her up most of the night.
Well, playing
barking.
or
Barking.
what's he
at-
barking at?
Her?
He's barking at her.
Oh,
Well, just
He doesn't like somebody else in the house. He's like, "Rrr." And I mean, he's getting closer and closer to her. So I think that will
just
come
put
to
him
an
outside
end.
for a while. He'll
No.
he'll shut up.
no, it's yucky out
Kelly,
there.
I took him to the vet Saturday
you.
morning for his dental.
How'd that go?
They called me 2 hours later and said, come get him.
Oh, they're like, get
He-
this dog out of here.
He
The
was
ransom of
so
Red Chief.
scared. They couldn't even touch him. He was so scared and
Oh, that's
shaking.
so sad.
So I went and got him, and as soon as he saw me, he cuddled up in my arms, and he was fine. But they know his history, being abandoned, and
Mhm.
so we've got another plan in place.
You
Knock
want to
him out.
sedate him first?
Oh, I'm going to I've got to give him some anti-anxiety meds, and then I'll stay with him until they
She'll
put
give
him
him
to
a shot
sleep.
of 151 rum. That's
Yeah.
what she's going to do.
Open up
Yeah.
some Jack on him. Poor little baby, but you just don't know what these rescues have been through
I
when you
know.
get them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, we got a little kitty cat in there.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not a little
she's
kitty.
So
Man, she's
pretty,
coming
too.
into her own.
Is she really?
Oh, yeah.
Willing to
She
roost
knows
still?
she's home.
Oh, well, she's been running from the doggies and stuff
Mhm.
like that, and from Evinrude.
Mhm.
But Evinrude, she and Evinrude have been nose to nose, and they're okay. And last night, she wants to play.
And Everett's old. He's like, don't.
19.
Yeah, he's like, leave me alone.
So Evinrude got up on my lap last night and was sitting down on my lap, but his tail was hanging off the side.
Oh no,
Uh-oh.
no, she didn't.
And then she sneaks up. How cats can do the little
Yeah, I know how they do. Yeah,
sneaky little move.
yeah.
Evinrude didn't pay any attention. His back was to the
Of
kitty cat.
course. Yeah.
And she reaches down, she goes, "Pat!" And she slaps the tail like that. And Evinrude looks over his shoulder and he said, "You do that one more time.
Yeah,
you're
he's
not
gonna
be
tear her
19.
down.
You're not
Yeah.
going to be 19.
Yeah.
I explained to you how come I got to be 19 years old because I am bad.
Oh, he's well.
Oh,
we know
yeah.
what Candy calls him. But he's a Black Panther. That's what he looks like.
He looks like
He's
a
the
Black
size of
Panther.
one.
Yeah.
And if people think I'm lying about that, I'm telling the honest truth. This cat's huge.
Uh-huh. And little Stormy, she's not going to get to be that big, which is fine. But
She's fluffy though.
she's fluffy.
Very fluffy. Yeah.
She has smoothed out. She's got rid of all the little bones that she had. They were all. She didn't weigh anything at
Yeah.
the time. So.
Come here.
And then there's a little pressure shockwave still hanging around there.
Well, he's found a new. He's like, oh, there's somebody new.
Oh,
in
somebody
here.
new in here to terrorize. I told Kelly I took him to Sam's on Saturday.
Really?
And out to Tractor Supply.
How did he do? Good. Oh,
Oh,
well, I know how he does.
He
Yeah.
goes out. He does.
He loves
He's been
everybody.
there with me before.
Yeah,
Not to
okay.
Sam's, I don't think, but he goes with me to
Mhm.
Lowe's all the time. But I carry a piece of cardboard in my Jeep
hmm
that fits with the carrier where
Okay.
the kids sit.
Yeah.
Put their little seats down
Uh-huh.
thing there, and then I put that in there so he's not going to be slipping and
Right.
putting his paws through the cracks.
Yeah.
I cut it to fit there, and I carry it with me in my Jeep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it's smart. I've
Oh,
had
he
so many
likes
people say,
that.
"Boy, that's about the smartest thing I've
Yeah.
ever seen." But anyway, I can't do that anymore.
Why?
To go get 2 items, that's
Mm-hmm.
what I got. 45 minutes.
Nah.
I had to stop every time.
People want to pet him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
people. Parents, is it okay? My baby wants to pet that. Yes, go ahead. He's
He
fine.
loves it.
Oh my God.
He wants to
Well,
go a lot
he
now.
waves the flag. That
Uh-huh.
little tail with that fluffy thing.
Yeah.
He waves that flag back and forth. Say, "Come on, pet me, rub me."
Yes.
And they do.
He
Everybody.
loves pets.
Nobody even hesitates.
Mhm.
Some ask permission, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, I would. They should all ask permission.
I agree.
don't
People should always ask
I don't
permission.
care, and he doesn't care. But
Mhm.
you don't know what kind of dogs can go. Woof.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Especially little ones. But Shocky's so sweet.
Oh yeah, he's
Shocky's a
disgustingly
sweet. boy.
sweet.
Yes.
But Lord, you cannot. I'm gonna put a sign up there. One pet, $1.
You know
I'm
what?
just
You'd make
kidding.
some money
I
out of
probably
that.
would
Though.
get a
People would,
fortune.
he's so
And
sweet.
you're-
People would pay you to pet him.
We could do that and set up a little booth alongside the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Come pet the dog.
And then give the money over to our favorite little place out
Yeah,
there, the
yeah.
rescue folks.
We could do that.
I'd be a good fundraiser, right?
Mhm.
We've got a special lady in here that
We do.
We
Yes,
met
we
her.
do.
I met her back during the pandemic.
Hmm.
What a time that was.
I'm sorry, I have no memory of that time.
That's the best way to put it. I've been reading about it in the history books, and that's all I want to know about it anymore. Sherry Slater, she is now the interim director of senior services in Carteret County.
Yes.
How about that? See, Lee, I knew what he was.
Well, you failed to share it with me, so when
I told you what he was.
No, you did not.
I did the first time. You didn't listen.
No, you did not.
So I can see
I
nothing's
was
changed
sitting
since
here-
the last time I was here.
No.
I was sitting here this morning. Where were you when I was like, I want to make sure I've spelled her name right?
I gave it to you the first time. You should have written it down.
Y'all feel my pain. That's why I sit between them.
Kelly, did you see the Skype message he sent about that? Don't schedule anybody for Monday and Tuesday because Sherry Slater's coming on Monday
I didn't
and
see
John
that one.
Delgado's coming Tuesday. That was all you
I
said.
probably hadn't checked my
Yeah, but
Okay.
this morning on the air, I read everything there was to read about her.
For the first time.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I was driving over.
Yeah.
Did they
It's
have-
good. We welcome you, Sherry.
No, this
Thank
was
you.
while you were sitting there. You just,
Y'all are killing me right now.
Wow.
And I'll just say I've known Sherry, what, 20 years?
At least.
Yeah, we
Really?
worked together off and on for a long time.
Oh,
yes.
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 tell me
Yeah,
about
don't hug her.
Kelly.
Oh, so many things about
In her early
Kelly. First
years.
of all, you know who she's married to, so clearly she's a saint. And no, I just have to say that because I know at some point I'll get a text or a call from Robin
Oh, yeah,
harassing
you
me
will.
about it.
Expect a
So
phone call any minute.
I know
Yeah.
phone's probably already
I'll
ringing
have
up.
to, you mean I've got to come to Robin's aid?
No,
I
I
got-
actually worked fairly closely with him for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
So that was a good time as well. No,
But now you've jumped counties.
I have.
I'm
So-
impressed.
Well, that's
So-
still part of our area. We
It
like
is.
Carteret.
Yeah.
I was in Carteret County last week. So
It's just our neighbor, right?
it is.
That's right.
So I had, as a lot of folks will know, I had a nice 30-year career here in Onslow County, which I loved.
Yeah.
And I retired, which I'm sometimes good at and sometimes not.
Yeah, I know.
But every once in a while, I get a phone call that is just so much fun, and I get to jump in and do something for just a little while, keep my brain working. By the way, I love this little addition.
yep.
I love this little addition to the studio.
Yeah, he's a mess.
He's a hoot.
But I am so blessed right now to get to work with our friends in Carteret County.
Mm-hmm.
And their senior center was between directors. So they asked me to step in and hang out for a little while they search for the perfect
Right.
full-time person. And I'm just having the best time there. The Leon Mann Jr. Enrichment Center is such an amazing senior center.
Okay.
And-
Carteret County's kind of big. Where is it?
It is. It's in Morehead City.
Morehead City. Okay.
Right. And it's a great place for seniors, similar to here in Onslow County, very diverse group of seniors. We've got everything from chair
They
yoga.
all fish.
Nice.
They all fish. I've heard you say something similar
I'll
before.
guarantee
Yeah.
you. They're from Carteret County. They fish.
Yes. And they do everything from chair yoga to playing bridge and Zumba. So there's kind of something for everyone there. And we just think it's a great place for senior citizens. And by seniors, I mean my age and up. So they take those 50 and older can come in. Some of the programs are for 60 and older, but again, they
Keep
have.
going.
I know. Well, and older covers the rest of us, right?
Uh-huh. Keep going.
You're still young.
But they have
Dirt and me.
Dirt and you,
Mhm.
the two oldest things
Mhm.
left. I got you. But we have fitness classes. We have bridge. We have a book club. And if you don't know how to play bridge, it can be kind of intimidating. They're not
She was going to say, if you don't know how to read.
also true. No, if you don't know how to play bridge, it can be intimidating to start. So they have bridge lessons for folks who want to learn before they come and
Nice.
watch
Okay.
the actual play go on. And if bridge isn't your thing, they also have poker lessons. So, some folks would rather play that kind of card game.
I got to sit there and concentrate on stuff first.
You got to, yeah.
No,
So,
yeah, no.
not your thing, right? That's okay. That's all right. We have a fitness room. We have a billiards room.
You're going to get there sooner or later.
I know we have
nice.
arts and crafts later this month. We're having a plant swap. So folks are coming out and bringing the plants that
What
they've
kind of plants in Carteret County would they be swapping?
That is,
Right.
I just really have
Tomatoes or
no idea.
peppers or something like that.
You know, I have to tell you, I can keep kids, dogs, and the occasional goldfish alive. Plants and I are not friends. And we've agreed to a mutual separation. So I try to stay away. I don't look at their plants and I don't talk to their plants because I don't want to be accused of anything.
Dying killing it.
I do. I really am terrible. But you should know your strengths and your weaknesses, right?
Okay.
And so I know to leave plants alone with the people who they love, and I'm not one of them. But it, you know, for folks who like plants, I understand that plant swap is just a great thing to do.
Oh yeah. It's a great idea.
Yeah, but other than, you know, the arts and crafts and the hobby kind of things, we also have a shredathon coming up later this month.
I heard of what?
A shredathon.
Yeah.
So you just finished your taxes for the year, I hope. If you didn't, don't tell me. And
We got all year to do it though.
September.
I know.
Well, most of all year.
All right. Well, you finished 1 year's taxes at some point.
Yes, I know. I got a bunch. I'm
And
done.
so at some point you can get rid of those so many years old, right? And you need to do something with your personal papers that won't get you in trouble with identity theft and stuff. So bring your personal papers by the senior center and we'll shred them.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So that shredathon's coming up.
Guys, this is a great plan. Go ahead and unload that stuff. I've got some stuff that's 30, 40 years old out
Bring
there
it on.
that we had that I think we got rid of all of it now.
Well, on May 31st, we're having a shredathon at the senior
Okay.
center. So come on by
That's a
and
Friday,
bring
I
your
think,
stuff.
right?
I believe so.
Okay.
And we also have a scam jam coming up. In fact, we have 2 of those.
A what?
So a scam
I
jam.
like that.
We have our sheriff's office in Carteret County
Oh, scam.
is putting on a financial scam seminar for
really?
For older adults. And that'll be on the 22nd of this
God,
month.
that's needed.
Right? Because it's so crazy
Because
easy to get scammed.
We are the most vulnerable individuals out there because so many of y'all are gullible.
I know
The
it.
poor people that call me.
Not
they
like you
suffer.
though. Isn't that great?
The people
I
that
know,
call me,
right?
they suffer.
Yeah.
I have no shame.
I know some of them do. It's okay though. We all have our moments, right?
I can deal with them.
Well, you know, we also have AARP coming in June to do a scam jam. So they'll cover different topics, but it is so easy with the way our world works today with the digital, everything coming through your cell phone or your computer, or even automated calls. You know, it's just so easy to fall
is.
victim to these things. And so we try to get the word out. Talking about it is the way to go so that folks hear what the scams are.
I'm glad you guys are doing that. It's extremely important. People just don't quite understand how important that it is. Wow. Good for you.
Thank you.
The scams are,
Yeah.
that's one of the things. Well, I could be victim to it 10 times a day because that's about what
Sure.
the calls that come
That's
in
true.
here from idiots that haven't dealt with me before, then have to go get drunk after they deal with me. But just fine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm supporting their economy. But you guys, you will be amazed at the number of folks who are older who get these calls and fall for them.
And people who are
Absolutely.
generally otherwise savvy.
Yes,
truly, people who-
they're educated.
Mm-hmm.
They just have not been, they've been throughout their entire lives. They've either been protected by somebody else. Okay, let's just get real there. I mean, I know a lot of women, wives, who just will not let anything get by to their husband. You know what I mean? They understand that there are idiots out there trying to take advantage of other people. So they step in. Well, men do the same thing in a lot of cases. Men for generally different reasons, but they do the same thing. But when they're gone,
Right.
when your support system is no longer with you, what do you do?
Right. And some are just from a generation where you did your business face to face with people you knew. You knew the name of your banker, you knew the name of the people you
Right.
paid your bills to, and the world's not really that way anymore.
Nope.
And it makes it so easy for people to step in and take advantage.
How many people out there right now could call their local bank and talk to somebody they know or that knows them?
Yeah.
Probably very few.
Mhm.
And in fact, at most banks, you can't even go in and meet with a
Nope.
banker to talk about a loan anymore.
Get
You
an
have to do
appointment.
all of that online.
Or get an appointment?
Right.
He comes in every Thursday.
Yeah. So it's it's a different world,
Mhm.
and that leaves some of us open to to being taken advantage of. So what we try to do at the Senior Center in Carteret County is provide opportunities for our seniors and the community to learn about these things so that you are aware of what types of scams are going on. And it doesn't make you invulnerable to any scam, but it gives you an idea of questions to ask when you're hit with something, right? You get that phone call and it seems either scary or too good to be true. And so then you start asking a few questions. And sometimes the questions themselves will put the offender off and help you recognize that you're not speaking with a legitimate source.
If you have problems understanding the individual, just say no. If you have problems, if you can't understand the individual, and the first thing they ask is, how old are you?
Right. And you want to also avoid saying yes or no.
Never say yes.
Never say yes, because they might be recording that to use as an affirmation.
They can edit it into any other question they'll ask you. Are you ready to sign up for this program? And if you've already answered yes to, hey, good morning, is this Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
My response is, who are you and what do you want?
Right. Who are you looking for?
No, who are you and what do you want? Let's cut to the chase here.
Yes. And so it's just a way that we try to arm our seniors with enough information to protect themselves.
Well, that's just like last month in Pitt County, where they had a couple arrested for scamming a man who had cancer.
Yeah.
They scammed him out of his money and his home.
Yep.
It's so easy.
Stealing liens or stealing your paid off deeds or whatever, people are doing that these days.
Mm-hmm.
So I do hope that the sheriff's office, I'm sure that, knowing Asa Buck and company, I'm sure that that operation is going to be well presented.
It is. They have a great program that they're presenting. We also, as I said, have AARP coming to do another
Excellent.
Scam and fraud seminar. So those will be a couple of opportunities. But
How about computer programming? Do you help them? Not programming, but using a computer.
we do. So we have a computer lab.
Oh, really?
We do. And our computer.
Now's our chance.
Maybe you better sign it.
We can talk about that. So we have a computer lab, and we'll have we schedule classes when folks, we do interest surveys at the center and try to figure out who's interested in what at what time.
Sure. So
as we get those interest surveys, we start to schedule out into the next few months, and a computer program you got me with saying programming, Rayford, a computer literacy, we'll say, class.
A computer for dummies.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
that'll work.
Yes.
But we also save things on our computers in the computer lab, like links to AARP or links to Social Security.
Oh, good.
So that our seniors can go in and just click on those links and not have to do the searches.
Well, I have one thing before we go to a caller who's going to have a question for you or an observation.
Excellent.
For sure, because I know who he is. It's just because you get an email from something that says American Red Cross at habahukishawaha.com.
Right.
Don't click on it.
Please don't click on anything in an email
Just
unless
don't
you're
do it.
100% sure what you're dealing
And
with.
if you're not, even if you think you're 100% sure, call somebody.
Absolutely.
Call a daughter, a son, or call a granddaughter. Okay.
Or go to their website yourself,
Yes.
independently of that
Go
email.
find just American
right.
Red Cross, and then you just punt it in on the Google
Correct.
and go there yourself.
Correct.
All right. So, geez, that happens so often. I do it for fun, and then I mess with them. Hey, Jack, how are you?
Good morning, everyone.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I hope you folks are.
We're doing great. Jack Bright here, retired county commissioner, chairman of the Jacksonville County Board of Commissioners, and an all-around good guy and a cop.
Well, I just wanted to call in and let Sherry know that and that we're always thinking about her in her retirement. I'm glad that she's back in the game, and I can tell you, as the past chairman of the Board of Commissioners, there wasn't a single day that didn't go by that I made calls to her to get information, and she was always available, always had the answers to questions, and always knew what the policies and procedures were for certain organizations. I really commend her for her work ethics and her service to to Onslow County. And she is an asset to wherever she's at. And I will remind folks, too, that she was very instrumental in bringing the Dix Crisis Center to Onslow County and working through all that behind the scenes. Her name was very seldomly mentioned, but she was very upfront with everything to do with getting the Dix Crisis Center back up and running to help people in that area.
Yeah, I heard that from Commissioner Knapp on many occasions. You know, it was all Sherry. You know, if you got to have anything, I went to Sherry. She got it.
Right.
Thank you, sir. I
Absolutely.
appreciate
And
that.
Sherry, I just want to commend you for stepping up and helping the folks over in Carteret County. I know that they will be absolutely elated and pleased with your service. And what you're doing with the seniors is, and what I've heard on the radio so far about what you're doing to inform the seniors about scams and so forth. That is really beginning to be a real problem. A close friend of mine, his sister lives in New Bern, and she got a call related to jury duty from what she thought was actually a sheriff's deputy in Craven County, and she got duped out of $32,000.
Oh, really?
And they haven't been able to run that down. And I've talked to our sheriff here, and he said it's just about impossible because the folks that's doing the scams are doing it from out of the country and
Nigeria,
where we don't have jurisdictions to enforce or to deal with these folks. But the secret here is to not get involved in it to start with those phone calls. And I'll let you know, and I think I've talked to you, Rayford, about this. I get probably 30, 35 calls a day with people wanting to sell something or people wanting to sign me up for this or that and the other. And I just totally, I almost know what phone calls that are scams. And if it's a phone number that I don't recognize, I very, very rarely even answer it. But Sherry, take care and keep up the good work and help Sharon get the county back up and running there in Carteret County. And I know that you two are a dream team, and I miss you guys and I miss working with you.
Thank you, sir. I miss you too. It was a good time here that we had in Onslow County. We got a lot done. And as to working in Carteret, I'll just say it's been my absolute pleasure. The staff there at the Senior Center genuinely care so much about the citizens of Carteret County. And it's such a pleasure to work with a group that is so focused on providing a meaningful and at the same time fun and entertaining place to come. And whether it's, again, a hobby or an activity, to just have a place for those of us that are in that next phase to really enjoy being during the day.
No.
But thank you for your kind words, Jack. I really appreciate that.
Well, I'll let you go. And if there's anything that I can do in my capacity now that I'm in, don't hesitate to call and keep up the good work. And we will talk to you later.
All
have
right.
a good day, and
Jack,
happy belated Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Jack, I got an idea for you and me.
Go ahead, Rayford.
Oh, Lord.
God, you got scared already.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Why don't we just move over to Carteret County? You and I could set up a place over there. What do you think?
For
Well,
what?
Rayford, it's not very far from my house. I tell you, I can jump ship real quick.
Yeah, well, it's 21 less than 21 miles from here to there, because I make that trip about every couple of months, and 21 miles. We can set up a vegetable stand or something. What do you think?
Oh, goodness.
Absolutely. Or we can get the county commissioners here to redraw the county line and let Carteret County move across White River, and we'll be in the game. I'm about 6 miles from the border now, so it'd be real easy for me to jump ship.
Well, I got a boat. I can dock it anywhere. It's got a head. It's got a galley, and sleeping quarters. I'm good to go. That's my own.
Absolutely. We can dock that down by the college there in Carteret County and get us a zip code, and we'll be good to go.
I'm ready. I can put up some antennas and have our own radio station. Call it a pirate station.
Y'all,
All right.
my skills are rusty. It's been a while since I had to reconvene a meeting like this.
Thank you, Jack.
All right, you
like that.
guys take care. Have a good Monday.
You too. It's either that or maybe Jack and I could get a couple of other guys of our age group and our mentality. And those areas that Sheriff Thomas says and Sheriff Hughes are in Craven and I'm sure Sheriff Buck, that are out of their jurisdiction. No, we might not have jurisdictional boundaries. We just go over there and deal with it.
Wow.
What?
Sherry, what are the hours of the senior center?
Hey, thanks, Lee. I forgot what we were talking
Nice
about.
bailout.
I know. I'm sure this is Robin next.
I can always count on you guys. So our senior center is open from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, but we do have extended hours on Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh.
We're open 7 to 7.
Late Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes, and we also do some off-site classes.
Mhm.
So as you know, or you might know, Carteret County is a little spread out.
No.
It's not as all centralized as some communities. And so it's a little more difficult for some of our folks in the more rural communities to get into the center.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, we do some regular classes out in some of the more off-site areas, some of the more rural areas. Every month we have classes in Atlantic on Tuesdays and Fridays. And every Tuesday and Friday, we also have some classes in Down East at Harker's Island.
Oh, I love that place.
I
Have my play of it.
know.
Now,
It's
they got an
great.
accent that I can understand.
Kelly, go out on the island. Wouldn't that be
Goat
great?
yoga. I love goat yoga.
Well, we're talking right this minute about Tai Chi. We have some Arthritis Foundation exercises that we offer. And we have them also at Grace Presbyterian in Beaufort on Thursdays. We also have Arthritis Foundation exercise, enhanced fitness, and chair yoga at the town hall in Pine Knoll Shores every Thursday.
Really?
So if you live in an outlying area and you have something you'd like to suggest, let us know. We're
Well, I live in
open.
Jacksonville. Does that count?
Well,
You can't
I
come
have
over
a
here?
number for you for the senior center here. But we do have the ability to have some of the different classes out in the other areas of the community.
Mm.
We just have to know where the interest is
Mhm.
and work on how we're going to make it happen, because we really want to reach everyone in Carteret County.
I've been to some of those outlying areas in Carteret County, a lot of them over the years, and I needed a passport to get in. Is this still the case? Pretty close.
You need a passport and a boat to some of them.
I got the passport and the boat.
There you go.
We have
Sure.
another county commissioner on the line.
Well,
here.
real quick for you go to him because I want to type that in. What's the website?
The website is carteretcountync.gov.
Okay.
And then you can go to departments and look for senior
Gotcha.
services.
That's easy to do. Well, Commissioner Robin Knapp, how are you, sir?
Hey, good morning. I heard you, Sherry. I sent you a text just to let you know.
Oh Lord. Sorry, Jack had us all wrapped up. I see it now. Yes, sir.
Just hit delete. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Jack said. We lost one of our best managers we've ever had over at the county to Carteret County. I begged Sherry not to retire. In fact, I threatened her not to retire, but she didn't listen like she normally does it anyway. So, but,
Absolutely.
but I tell you what, you were instrumental in the Dix Crisis Center. You were instrumental in a lot of things. Actually, you kept me sane a couple of times when I wanted to blow up. I remember
What
that
happened?
conversation. We just had some things that we had to discuss, and let's put it this way: I really respect Sherry because she will give it right back to me. She will speak her mind, and I really enjoyed that. There was no hemming and hawing as to what she thought, and she's very perceptive. And when we lost her, when she decided to retire, which I don't blame her, we lost one of the most valuable assets that we had in the county. And now she's working at Carteret County for another valuable asset for Sharon Russell. Man, I think that's great. The dream team has been put back together partially over in Carteret County. I wish we had you guys back here with us. But I can't say enough about you, Sherry. You kept me sane. And we've had those little talks off the record. discussing things and giving our opinions on it, and I will miss that because you were just like me. You were brutally honest about things, and I really, really appreciate that. I really respect that, and I am so glad that you're there at Carteret County doing what you're doing. They couldn't have picked a finer person to do it. I'm curious what your husband think about this. I mean, is he for it or?
He is, because he knows if I sit at home too long, I get bored. And while he likes to have me around, there gets a point where he's had enough of having me around. So we have 7 grandchildren now.
Oh, wow.
And we are so blessed.
Well, that'll keep you busy.
I know.
That's why you're running away from home.
No, I love being around my grandchildren. And thankfully my kids, they use me as that grandmotherly sitter, not as a daycare. So it's great. And the first, 5 were born while I was still working. So I didn't have as much time with them as babies as I'm getting to do this time. So it's all been such a blessing. But I do enjoy having something to do every little bit, And honestly, I said it when I was here as the Senior Services Director, and I'll say it about Carteret County. Senior Services is like Disneyland in county government. It's just the best place ever. It is so much fun and so entertaining. And if you're not having fun, it's really your fault. So
Knowing some senior citizens like I know them and have known others in the past, they're unchained, aren't we?
yes. Yes.
We have no boundaries, do we?
Not many.
Well, Sherry, I just wanted to wish you the best. It's great for you. I think it's great for Carteret County. Like Jack said, we do miss you. We miss you over at the county. We miss your thinking. We miss your brutal honesty. That's what we miss.
Thank you.
You're not getting her back, Robin.
Thanks
Give
for your
up.
kindness. I appreciate mostly that you let me be honest and you still say nice things about me.
Well, you know what? It's because you were good at what you did. You still are, and it was like I said, it was a joy talking to you because I knew if I went to you, you would give me the straight skinny. You wouldn't sugarcoat it. That's what I really appreciate. I got a lot of respect for you, Sherry. Make sure you tell your husband I said hello. He's a great guy, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
I see that you also do like blood pressure screenings.
We do, yeah.
Can someone just walk in there and get it at any time, or do they have to make an appointment? Or
There's no appointment needed, but we do have a schedule. So if you, on that same website, we have a calendar, and our calendar has regular weekly events, and blood pressure checks is one of them that we do on a regular basis.
very good,
Mhm.
very good.
Don't come running in or right after you've experienced some road rage to get your blood pressure checked.
I mean, I don't recommend
Take
it.
about 10 or 15 minutes.
Or eating a very
Chill.
salty meal.
No, none of that. None of that.
Well, good. You sound like you got some really cool stuff going on over there.
They
and,
do.
So people, all they got to do is go to the Carteret County website and search for you. They can look for the, just probably type it in.
They can type in senior
Okay.
services, or they
Okay.
can go to departments, and senior
just
services is
scroll
one of
down
them.
and hey,
That's
you might even
correct.
find some other things you might be interested
Here's
in.
something I just found that you would be very interested in. They have a daily lunch menu here.
Really? What's for
Dude.
lunch?
So we serve lunch every
Oh,
day.
Really?
What you haven't seen here, because it's fairly new, is that we also are serving breakfast right now.
Oh,
We got a special grant for some extra nutritional programs.
nice.
And so we're serving breakfast. And Monday through Thursday, it's kind of a continental breakfast. We have some breakfast bars, some cereal.
Well, we
oatmeal,
can't get
that
that for
kind of
breakfast.
stuff.
It's too late for that. But
And then
for lunch?
on Fridays, we have something a little hot, like maybe biscuits or something of that nature.
Oh, yeah.
And then for lunch, there is a menu, which I'm not looking at the moment, but
Oh,
we
I
have-
am.
you want to read it? Read it
Today is hamburger steak with gravy, mashed
Oh.
potatoes, turnips, pears, rolls,
Can you
and
put some onions in that
2% milk.
gravy? Just kidding.
Well, it is created by a dietitian, so I can't change it.
Ooh,
But
wow.
yeah, we serve lunch every day, and if you're 60 and older, there's no charge for the lunch.
Hamburger steak with gravy.
Nice.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
That is great.
That's
yeah,
a
we have some
mainstay.
good meals. Yeah. In addition to that, on the I think it's the 28th of this month. I'm going to make sure I've got that right before I put it out there. Yes, on the 28th from 2:30 to 4:30, we're having an open house for folks who've never been to the senior center. We want them to come and see what we have.
Okay.
No
that's cool.
pressure. You're not joining a club or anything. There's no
Mhm.
fee. We just want folks to come and see what's going on. And as an incentive, we're offering food boxes, including some produce, to the first 25 folks who come by to see the senior center.
Produce, stuff to take home and cook?
Yeah, there'll be a box of food to take home and cook, but there'll also be some
Really?
produce, some vegetables and fruits and things in it. To the
Oh.
first 25 who come that day. So it's kind of a combination of trying to offer some good nutritional value and support to our seniors, but also get folks in to see what we're doing at the center.
Hey, Jack, if you're still listening, we need to get a house, an address at least, okay? So, no, that sounds great. That's
This is
good stuff you're doing.
Oh, good
Wonderful.
stuff.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Well, we want folks to know that the Senior Center in Morehead City is not for Morehead City. It's for all of Carteret County.
Okay.
And we want our folks in all the corners of Carteret County to know they're welcome at the center, that we want to see them there. And that if, we know that from some of the far reaching areas in Carteret, it might be hard to get there on a regular basis, but come in and check it out. Meet with us. Let us know what you're interested in and where you live. And then we can talk about what kind of services we might be able to offer in your neighborhood.
And if you really want to, if you're living in Carteret County, let's suppose you've retired, you came to the beach or something to retire from some other location. If you really want to get to know some people in Carteret County is so diverse. It's got people like are still living in the 1800s. Not literally, but I mean, they still have some of that same culture. Harker's Island, for instance. There's 3 different communities in Harker's Island. There's a north, middle, and south. I had to learn that the hard way. Not everybody on Harker's Island gets along, but because there's 3 different cultures there. But it's interesting. That's what makes that whole county interesting.
And the accent there is so different.
They
You
got an
wouldn't know.
You mean the hoity-toity to tell you so
You
hoity?
wouldn't know they were speaking the same language sometimes. It's
and they lie.
absolutely fabulous. No, I don't know anything about
The
that.
fishermen will lie to you.
Oh, fishermen? That doesn't have anything to do with Harker's Island. That's just fishermen.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sure, I have one last question
Yeah.
to ask you, and then I'll be quiet. Transportation services. What kind of transportation services do you offer the seniors?
Lee, I love that you're filling your role to keep us on track today. That is so awesome.
When we start
Um,
fishing, Kelly and I, when fishing comes up, Kelly and I know
You have to
we gotta
redirect.
jump in.
No, you don't.
So thank you for saying that, because I was remiss in not
Transportation will
saying
take me to the fishing pier.
we want not this transportation. This transportation is going to bring you into the center, because we know that as folks get older, some of us don't want to drive as far, some of us don't want to drive at all, or maybe we shouldn't be driving. But either way, we have transportation to the senior center.
Cool.
We want to make sure you can get there if you want to come. So
Where
if
do you pick them up?
so it's the CAT Transit in Carteret County. So if folks will just call us, we'll get you registered and work out your transportation to get into the center.
Really?
Yeah.
Will they
Very
come over
nice,
here and
very
pick me up?
nice.
No, you have to
No.
go there.
You
Yeah.
have to live in Carteret County.
Yeah.
I
All
put
the
a lot of
No,
comments.
you have to have an address.
I put a lot of comments in our Facebook comments and YouTube today, different web URLs and stuff for people to click on. But I will do a separate post tonight, strictly for all of this right here,
Good.
for people to
Thank
go back
you.
and review.
I'll
Thanks
tell
so
you,
much.
It's a great county. I've visited that county so many times over the decades. I mean, since I was a little kid, we were always in and out of Morehead, Emerald Isle, before there was a bridge on the south end. We were always in that part of the world. It's a great place.
It is a beautiful place.
You
It
know,
is.
Friendly, friendly
Oh, it's
people.
so beautiful.
I did hear a commercial one time on radio.
Yeah.
So it was the recording. It was for a business in Morehead City. 2 different times I've heard it. They referred to a little community there near Cape Carteret as Bogue,
Oh, no.
as Bogue sound instead of Bogue.
Oh, no.
And the
they
other
didn't.
one
That's
was
painful
Arundel Street.
instead of Arundel.
Oh, my.
Bless their
That
hearts,
was
as we
that-
say.
those were,
It's out.
those
That
were
is a
commercials on
wonderful-
radio that I heard. I'm like, really?
They didn't use local
They did
commentators to
not
do this.
They did not screen that.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
my.
was that was bad, because that
That was
hurts the
bad.
feelings of
Yeah.
all of us.
That-
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Well, I can't thank you guys for having
thank
me
you.
and for letting me talk about just what a wonderful place the senior center is.
Our friends there in Carteret County, if you're 60 or older, or even younger than 60, if you're at an age that you can use some services, you want to check them out, Thursday. No, what's the date for open house?
The 28th.
28th. That's like a Tuesday, I think, probably somewhere around there. Anyway, Tuesday, just go
It's a
by.
Wednesday, isn't it?
It's a Wednesday.
Yes,
close.
it is a Wednesday.
Then go by, check it out, go through. They'll show you what they've got to offer you. And you don't have to sign up and be a member right then. You just can just stroll through.
That's right. And you can stroll through anytime.
Are snacks available?
We'll have some snacks available on the 28th. I can't promise you every time you come in. there will
Vanilla
be.
wafers and Kool-Aid for you.
Uh-oh.
I
Is
don't
he on a
drink-
vanilla wafer
I
diet?
don't drink the Kool-Aid anywhere.
I can
was-
understand that.
That happened one time down south, and I'm not going to do that.
Well,
No,
we just
but
welcome you.
It's good. That's a great thing.
Thank
You
you.
guys are doing.
Thanks so
And,
much.
and Carteret County they picked a good person for it.
Well,
They
thank
did.
Somebody with
you.
Absolutely
experience
did.
and know-how. That's the really cool thing.
And y'all, this was so much fun being back here. I forgot how much fun it was to come and hang out with you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
We're
On
glad you
any
came
time.
in.
On any
We're not
time.
stereotypical. We have our own. We're comfortable. We just
Oh,
have
I
it. We do what we
remember.
want to do.
And we do what we want. That's right.
All right. Thank you, Sherry.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you.
guys. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Be careful going back. So we have some sloppy weather.
We better make sure Shocky's in here when she.
But yeah, Shockwave will take off with her.
Shockwave.
as
Look
well.
at
Go with her.
Yeah,
Jeez.
he's all about
Stealing my
her.
dog.
I know, where is he? Oh, where'd he go?
He's right
Oh, I
back
see.
here.
Oh, you can't. He
Look,
can't get
he's
out.
waiting. He's on the floor.
Yeah.
He's like,
waiting
going-
for that door.
he's
he's like, let me
low.
let her pick me up, and no one will see her carry me out. Yeah, that's what
He was getting a lot of
Oh,
loving.
he's
Yeah,
loving it.
he likes that
Look,
kind of
see,
stuff.
look, going right over to her. Look at him. He's like, take me.
It's been
with
nice having you. Can you take me over for some
you.
snacks?
Come here, Shockwave.
I could be a senior citizen. I could entertain the
Well,
senior
how old is
citizens for you.
Shockwave?
So he'll be 8.
Well, he technically is a
This year.
senior citizen,
I know.
and I'm just saying.
Close enough.
Because that makes him 56. Is it 7 years? Yeah, he's 56.
Yeah,
So he's a senior.
7 years for
Shocky, you
certain
are
dogs
senior.
is different than that for other dogs.
Oh,
Anyway, that's
yeah.
cool.
Oh, it is. I hear it.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. A low pressure system that brought some rather unsettled weather to the coastal area during the last part of the weekend, especially, should go away by midweek with high pressure coming in the last part of this week. Offshore today, out to 20 nautical miles. That mess is still playing havoc with the water. Southeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 5 feet. About 8 seconds apart. Not bad, but you're going to have a problem getting there because the sounds and rivers are going to be choppy. The inlet's going to be nasty. The ocean, that's a special marine weather forecast. Nasty.
Yeah.
The ocean will be salty and wet. And you're probably going to get some water out there, so be careful. Southerly winds tomorrow, 15 to 20, gusts to 25, seas 5 to 6 feet, sounds and rivers choppy, more showers tomorrow. Southwesterly wind around 10 knots. Ocean will be a little calmer with 3 to 5 foot seas, sounds and rivers a light chop.
Well, guys, it's going to rain all day today. I'm
Oh,
gonna
thank you
go
very
ahead and say
much.
it. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, I'm there. Today's high will be 76. We will be having showers and thunderstorms, and some of the thunderstorms could actually produce very heavy rainfall, which can be dangerous if you're driving.
Mhm.
Well, it's dangerous in general, but definitely dangerous when you're driving. We're expecting between 1 to 2 inches possibly. Tonight, the same, 80% chance, which means we're going to get something, and another 1 to 2 inches tonight. Tomorrow, showers and possibly a thunderstorm, with the storms producing heavy rainfall, high of 79, and between 3/4 and an inch tomorrow. Tomorrow night, more of the same, with a low of 64. And then Wednesday, showers, definitely, possibly a thunderstorm. In between all that, partly sunny, a high of 82, with a 70% chance of rain. So it's until Thursday, it's going to be rainy, basically.
For you guys, especially the boaters out there, the people like to go to the beaches, like to do fishing on fishing piers or whatever, keep in mind, thunderstorms are not nice.
No.
When you are on the water, you are the highest thing on the water,
Not good.
period. If you're out there in a lake, swimming in a lake, guess what? You're the highest thing. That little head of yours, that's the highest thing on the lake. What is the lightning going to go after? The highest point. That's just a fact of life. I strongly suggest, if you've got a cell phone, and if you got one of those cell phones that you can put one of those things called an app on, That's hard for me to even say.
I know.
That is one thing that I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Live weather radar
Mm-hmm.
that covers this neck of the woods. You don't care what's going on in Hotlanta. I don't care what's going on out there in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I can check that out later on if I'm interested. I care about what's happening here now and coming in the next few hours.
Makes sense.
So if you are going to plan something outside, especially on the water where it takes a while to go find some safe harbor, have one of those apps so you can look at the radar, see how close to that mess that you are. Keep in mind too, you don't have to be right smack dab in the middle of a thunderstorm for lightning to come down and zap you. Lightning is ahead of the storm. It's not only coming down during the height of the storm. If you see a storm coming on your radar
Mm-hmm.
and it's coming in your direction, put the motor in forward and haul buggy
Mm-hmm.
to the nearest safe harbor. It can get to be nasty otherwise.
I agree with
All
that.
right.
Sam.
How's that? Hold on. I got to turn you up now.
Hey, I do want to say one thing right now. Sending my thoughts and prayers to our neighbors out in the western part of the state because they are under flash flood
Oh, yeah.
warnings right now.
Oh, like they need that.
They don't
They
need that.
certainly don't need it.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I want to say is turn around, don't drown.
No, always.
Uh-huh.
One more time here.
This is Dave Jordan from WITN TV. I've been looking into the case of Kevin Smith. The Craven County man had 17 charges filed against him back in 2016 from both Craven and Onslow counties. Serious charges of rape and assaulting prostitutes. He spent nearly 6 years. Case never went to trial. All of the felony charges dropped or dismissed. Now Smith and others are asking, how could something like this happen? We'll hear from him, a retired FBI special agent, and also what the district attorneys in Craven and Onslow County are saying, as well as the Craven County Sheriff's Office, coming up on Monday and Tuesday on WITN News at 6.
Part one is tonight during the 6 o'clock newscast on WITN. And you take a look-see at it. You may have some questions, you may have some concerns, and you will see pretty much what we were talking about 3 months ago when we had Kevin Smith in here along with John Legato, retired special agent with the FBI. There were some issues. I'm anxious to see what WITN found out because we had questions.
Yes,
We
we did.
pointed out a few things that caused us to have some okay, how did he go from that rank to nothing that fast?
You're talking about someone in the LEO profession?
Yeah, buddy. That's so. Anyway,
Yes.
hopefully we will have a few more answers tonight and tomorrow night. So, anyway.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see.
Back in March, I'm going to go fishing again here, but this is an interesting story.
Okay.
5 fishermen set sail from a Lima, Peru port. They were heading into the Pacific, hoping to catch a lot of fish. At some point, well offshore, a long ways from land, the fishermen tried to start their motor to head home. The battery, the one and only battery, did. Obviously, their radio, useless without battery.
Makes sense.
The 5 men were in a pickle. Big boat, ain't going to be paddling anywhere. They drained rusty water from their motor. They managed to catch fish. They are fishermen, and they drank rainwater mixed with seawater to stay alive. 55 days later, the crew of a tuna boat spotted the stricken craft. After giving them assistance in the form of water and whatever food they had, they contacted the Navy by their radio. A patrol boat motored to the location, provided additional assistance, and took the fishermen, all apparently in pretty good shape. They took them to shore to be reconnected with their families. Earlier this year, another Peruvian fisherman was lost at sea by himself, all alone, 95 days.
I saw that one.
What in the name of
I
heaven?
agree.
Survived pretty much the same way before he was finally rescued. Whether your plans call for a trip to the Gulf Stream 50 miles off New River Inlet or a day of Spanish mackerel fishing 2 miles out, make sure you have emergency equipment and backup emergency equipment.
I agree.
If you have one battery and one radio and one motor, you will have none. If the one battery fails, none of the above works.
Yeah, I agree with that.
2 is 1, 1 is none.
Right.
Always remember that should be that should be on every boat out there.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Did you watch the Kentucky Derby?
I did not.
Okay. Well, the winning jockey is in trouble, Rayford.
What did
He has been
do?
fined.
Did he weigh too much?
No, worse. He's been fined and banned for his
Really?
overuse of his whip during the race. I did not know until
Yes.
I read this
Oh, I
article.
did.
You can that according to the regulations, Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority, jockeys are only allowed to strike the horse 6 times during a race.
I didn't know the number, but I knew
It
it
was
was strictly
6.
controlled. How
He
many?
did it 8. And it
Wow,
was
and
his
he's
second
banned?
offense in the last 180 days.
Well, he's done.
So his fine has been doubled to $62,000, which
So
is
much for that
20%
ride.
of his winnings from the Kentucky Derby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
saw
jockey's
that.
in trouble. And because of that, he is banned for 2 Kentucky racing days, 29th and 30 May. He can't race. But he was riding
That's a key
Sovereignty.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you risk that?
How do you not? I mean, I would
Well,
think. I mean,
first of all, could he count to 8?
I'm going with yes because
Does he
I
have a
mean,
green card?
this is not his first rodeo, so to speak. I mean, he's very well known. How do you, I mean, maybe you just get so caught up you don't count. I
Well,
don't
I'm
know how to,
sure.
but I remember I actually did watch
But don't
it.
you know it's all on tape and they're going to review it and review it and review it up the yin yang?
I did not know that there was, until reading this article, that there's actually a number of times you can strike a horse.
I knew that.
I did
but
not know that.
how many.
But I remember watching, because I watched the Kentucky Derby, wow, some of them look like they're hitting more than they should.
Mhm.
But I didn't know if that was
How
just
many
me
it should
killing that.
was.
Yeah, I didn't know that there actually was a thing. And I
Wow.
just thought, wow, I didn't realize, yeah, there is a thing.
Well, that's pretty much like going fishing for
Yeah.
marlin, blue marlin, which is coming up again without a fishing license.
Oh, that's right.
Can't
Yeah.
wait.
You do that and look what it gets you. Uh-huh.
I can't
Dead
wait.
if you were in the wrong boat.
Oh, that reminds me. Remind me to ask you something about that.
Okay, ask me something about that. I just reminded you.
Okay, after the show. It's
Okay.
business wise.
You want me to remind you again?
Yes, please.
And you think I'm going to remind you again?
At the end of the
Hopefully
show.
I will try to remember.
I'm
it.
gonna make a note right now
That would be a good plan.
to ask you this.
It's a good thing. Kelly needs to be in here. She didn't take her headphones, did she?
No.
It's a good thing that we don't label all teachers as bad when we find out that one is bad and we talk about it. You know,
True.
like some of us label all cops as being bad when we talk about one who goes off the reservation. In California, 36-year-old Jacqueline Ma, she spells it M-A, I have no idea, a former teacher of the year a couple
Okay.
years ago,
What'd she do?
was sentenced last week after her arrest a year earlier. Good old Jackie has 30 years to think about the damage she did to 2 of her 6th grade male students.
Oh no.
Hold your doors there, Kelly. She pleaded guilty to 2 counts of forcible lewd acts on a child, 1 count of lewd acts on a child, and 1 count of possessing child sexual abuse material. Let me explain. Ma had groomed young boys with gifts, food, and special attention, according to the district attorney, and even did their homework for them.
What?
Where was his teacher?
Yeah.
Ma was arrested in March of 2023 after prosecutors said the parents of a 12-year-old boy discovered inappropriate messages on a family tablet between their son and Ma. She groomed the boy for over a year before she sexually assaulted him in her classroom over a period of 3 months while his parents believed their 12-year-old boy was participating in an after-school basketball program. It wasn't basketball. Further investigation into Ma revealed that she had targeted and sexually assaulted a second victim, an 11-year-old boy, earlier in 2020.
That's my grandson's age.
Ruh-roh. She will be eligible for parole after and only after she has completed her full 30-year sentence. That's according to the ruling from the judge. We all know how likely it will be that some bleeding hearts out there in California will push for her release in 4 or 5 years. She has suffered enough.
Oh, I don't want to hear it.
Kelly, I feel a beat down coming on
right now.
Gosh.
Lord.
Well, you talk about that.
36 years old, one 11-year-old and one 12-year-old boy. What is wrong with you?
11-year-old.
How? 12-year-old.
Yeah, and I'm trying to fathom how anybody can think that is like a turn on or sexy or whatever. That is just gross. And
loser. She's got to be a born loser, right?
You know, I mean, it's a shame we see it in all walks of life.
what'd you say your name was?
His last name A. First name is Rob.
Got that?
I'm gonna look her up.
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
And she's no angel.
2 counts of forcible lewd acts on a child, 1 count of lewd acts on a child, and 1 count of possessing child sexual abuse material.
Oh my.
She kept them after school in her classroom and
she was in Chula Vista.
and sent the word out that she was they were in basketball, a special after school basketball program. Mom and Daddy, you need to check your stuff. Sorry about that. If there's something going on that's not normal,
It's getting dark out.
it's normal when the clouds come over. That's not abnormal. What are you doing?
He's worried about a storm.
No, I just looked out. It was almost like nighttime. But you know, you were talking about this. We just had an incident in Franklintown, North Carolina, just a couple days ago. The principal of a high school in Franklin County had been suspended with pay.
A principal.
And this was just this past Thursday, according to school officials. Members of the Franklinton High School baseball team were involved in an incident during a away game on March 4th. The district was not made aware of it until April 18th. And after learning of the incident, they called local law enforcement and began an internal.
What was the incident?
They won't say because this is schools and you know how they are. The internal investigation led to Franklinton High School principal Russell Holloman being suspended with pay. And now the superintendent of the school district is recommending that he be terminated. So
I'll take the money away for sure.
Stuff coming up soon on that.
What's going on?
Well, in Virginia,
Somebody's going to find out.
So up in Virginia, McDonald's in Fairfax County, it's right near the Thomas Edison High School. Probably not, but you got to be 21 with ID to go in.
What?
They've had so many problems with teenagers acting a fool up in there. And
so they can't go in to get ice cream?
They just can't go in the McDonald's if you don't show ID during the week.
I did hear about that.
Because they're fighting. They were fighting in there, swearing, standing on the tables, being rowdy, and
it's a shame to have
smoking,
to get
drinking, cussing.
It's a shame that everybody has to suffer.
So the McDonald's made a rule. And you got to show ID. They buzz you in, and you got to show ID at the door. If you are not 21 or older, they will not let you in.
We were coming back from the mountains last year, and we stopped at a McDonald's, and it was somewhere in the western part of the state before we actually got too close to the East Coast. And I remember that the bathrooms were locked. You had to ask for a key. And they just happened to be open, but they were getting ready to close.
No. Y'all did that coming back from Fayetteville when y'all were on your excursion. That was you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
But we also had the same experience at one coming back from the mountains. But remember when we were coming back from the Fayetteville ball game?
Yeah.
And we went into the McDonald's?
Oh, it was at nighttime in that area, that part of town. They said they had problems.
Yeah, they said they had to lock the bathrooms, everything, because people.
I just figured it's because we were from Jacksonville.
Oh,
those
good memory.
People don't know how to act.
Wow.
Yeah, well, but the thing is, everybody gets punished at that McDonald's you're talking about.
Yeah.
Why not get pictures of the individuals who did the bad thing, and have their pictures up there with the security guy or whoever at the door? No, you're not. You can't come in. We're not serving you.
Well, it's a shame that you have to put cameras.
When you got to punish everybody because of the
yes.
actions of a few, it's not right.
Oh,
That's just not right.
I agree.
And you know, this McDonald's is right near a high school, which is
Well,
right.
I
Yeah, but
see
the
what's
police
going
were
on.
involved. I mean, they're just like, and it's
But
sad.
not all teenagers are going to be acting the fool.
No, but they made it bad for everybody. And they said
Then you know what that means?
a kid can go in
They
with a parent.
They deserve a beatdown.
Mhm.
The ones who did it, the rest who did not get involved,
Yeah.
blanket party. I'm not encouraging violence. Yes, I am.
Oh, I got.
Sometimes it's needed.
How does this even happen? I just can't. Okay,
What?
Rafer, you're
What'd you
gonna
do
like
now?
this one. Kansas.
Why?
Kansas.
You're gonna like this story. So a quote low-level drug dealer.
Low level? You mean low life or low
It just
level?
says it literally
Low
says
level.
low level. So I'm
Okay.
thinking low end of the totem pole drug dealer.
Yeah. A street dude, okay?
Owed a debt with his quote deranged boss because the boss was threatening to murder him and his family because I guess he hadn't paid up or whatever. I hadn't got to that part yet.
Yeah, it amazes me that drug suppliers, big suppliers,
Yeah.
will trust a street level drug dealer with a quantity of product
That makes
without
you owe
them
money.
paying,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
try and think that they're going to get that money. Well,
So let me tell you how
yeah.
he tried to pay him.
with
I can't. This is too much.
counterfeit money,
He stole
stole something.
an 800-pound cannon that was used in the Spanish American War
I'll give him
park
$100 for
in
that.
Kansas
From a car.
from a park.
Oh, park.
And
Okay.
it had a podium in Wichita, and it gets better.
What are you going to do with that?
It's a 1794 cannon.
What can you do with it?
He was going to give it to his boss
What is
because
his boss going to do with it?
he owed him $20,000 is how much he owed
Oh,
the
wow.
drug
You
dealer.
you let that guy go way too long,
And
dude.
he told the cop, so it gets better. Now, this historic cannon
Mhm.
was found chopped into pieces. Woo! Yes. So he owed the dealer $20,000
All of the above gets
for a
they go
pound
away.
of meth that he claimed, I guess he was supposed to sell it. He claimed it got stolen. You know full well
They
he
all
used that
do
meth.
that. That's done before.
So
We sold it.
the dealer said, "I'm going to shoot you and your family if you don't pay me the $20,000 you owe me." So
Did you start with the family?
he just said, "I want to sell copper from the statues made of the material of that were surrounding it." What a
What?
fool! I mean, I just can't. So, that cannon had been in that park on its little podium since 1900. The reason he picked the cannon was because it was dark. He stole it at night, I guess.
Well,
So he got two men. He found two of his drug users that are high on meth to lift that cannon. So they
Huh?
tried to put it in his Tahoe and it wouldn't fit. So they hooked a chain to the hitch so they could tow it off. Of course, the chain snapped in front of an automotive shop, so they left the cannon. All of this I just can't.
oh my.
Wow.
Okay.
So they ended up getting it and chopped it into 5 hunks. The drug dealer got irritated
Well, yeah.
when he took these pieces of cannon to
How about the
him.
residents of that town?
Told him he was stupid and he was going to.
Yes.
He threatened him again.
I'd have shot him just for that.
I agree. Sadly, I
that,
do agree.
that would have been a justifiable shooting, in
Um,
my opinion. Especially if
so-
you start with his toes, one at a time.
So they think the cannon is worth obviously more than 100,000, but I'm thinking it's priceless. It's from the
Oh, it's-
1794.
yeah, you can't
like,
put a value on that one.
oh wow, there's a big thunderstorm coming, and he's on a $200,000 bond, which clearly no one's going to be able to bond this idiot out.
Who would? If I was in his shoes, I don't think I'd
Look,
want
you're
to be
safer in
bonded
the jail
out.
from the drug dealer than anything.
Well, how
What
about
a
from the
moron.
residents? How about the people in that community?
Dumb
Yes,
Dumb crook.
Oh, dead crook.
I just can't. Yeah,
You know,
So-
you know what you've seen these people who take baby shoes, the baby shoes from the baby's first shoes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
bronze them.
yes.
They need to do
My
him
parent-
that
my
way.
grandmother had those.
They
yeah.
need to bronze him. And
I
put
agree.
And put him in the.
And put him out there.
Put
This
him
is
on
what happens
display.
if you don't pay me my $20,000 from a pound of meth, talking about it got stolen. You used every bit of that
In
meth.
China,
dude.
they do something called caning you for little minor offenses.
Yeah.
You've heard of that, right? Where they beat you with a cane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bronze you here.
I agree. We're going to bronze you. Yeah.
I got a story for
I
you,
don't know why I
Kelly.
come up with those ideas, but they're good.
I got a story for you, Kelly. It's
Here.
going to make your skin crawl.
Uh-oh.
More than 10% of Duke Energy customers in Wayne County were without power Sunday night. We're talking about up to about 5,500 customers.
Mhm. Why?
A snake had crawled into the equipment and triggered the outage.
It was a black snake, wasn't it? I think I
Oh,
saw that. I know. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he's black now.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know it
Charborough.
happened. Yeah. That's
But,
creepy.
you know, I mean,
Lord.
No.
I saw that and I
Squirrels do it all the time. They shut power down. I've heard of snakes. All sorts of critters will get into.
It's the snake thing I have a
substations.
problem with.
Why?
Because you
they're
know I don't like
creepy crawly.
snakes. I don't want a creepy crawly like that.
Well, you shouldn't.
Some
take
guy
them-
here in Jacksonville had a snake in his car or something, and now I'm all paranoid.
You shouldn't have bitten the apple.
I didn't bite the apple. So I'm paranoid. You'll see me look around. Yeah, that's me doing it. Scared
Gotcha.
of snakes.
Looks
Just
like the
saying.
FBI is going to go after illegals in this country who have committed violent crimes. Hey, how about that?
Isn't that your job?
The Bureau's Deputy Director, Don Bongino, oh, great.
Mhm.
I like Dan.
Publicity hound Dan. Let it be known that the FBI will be working on the criminal side to assist in rounding up illegals. It's a part of their removal and incarceration operation. That's what they're calling it. Also on that list, illegal or not, will be child predators. Good. Bongino says they have their marching orders. At the same time, at the direction of Congress, the FBI will be preparing reports on the investigation into the attack on Representative Steve Scalise, the Nashville school shooting, the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, and the origins of COVID-19. They're giving these missions to the FBI. Well, I guess since they had all this time to go and do political stuff, maybe since they don't have to do that kind of investigations anymore, maybe they got plenty of time to actually do criminal work. What do you think?
Maybe.
A lot of work ahead that should have been handled a long time ago for sure. No doubt in my mind that the brick agents, the real cops in the Bureau, can take care of all of it. As long as the bureaucrats, the political appointees, the idiots out there stay out of the way.
Mhm.
Why is my dentist calling me now? I was there last week. Did I do something wrong?
Maybe they've got your test results.
They didn't do any tests.
Just trying to be positive.
Oh,
Maybe you're growing a new tooth.
maybe I need to. Anyway, the Bureau, they've long been a great organization. And then when they got the bureaucrats in there, the people that should not have been in charge,
Right.
the people who had nothing but politics in front of them to, okay, if I do this and do this, I can retire as a yada, yada, yada. I can do nothing. All I can do is just skate. They shouldn't have anybody like that at the top.
I agree.
There should be none of that. Yes, they should promote from within. I agree. But those people who are promoted from within should have to get out and do some work from time to time, leave the headquarters. If nothing else, they should be required to visit every office in this United States and some of the foreign places as well. These bureaucrats should have to go to these places to see and work there for a week or two to see how things are going. I mean, it would be dreaded that when they showed up at an office, but anyway, at least it would show that they're doing something, I would think. Tomorrow, coming up in the morning, we've talked about it a bunch, and tonight on WITN during the 6 o'clock news, it's must-see TV tonight, y'all. Take a look-see at the story, special report that their anchor, Dave Jordan, has put together. The first of a two-parter. That's good.
First part of a two-parter. The second part is tomorrow night. But join us tomorrow. It's a story about a man. We know him now. I've known his dad. And John Legato was a retired FBI agent. Speaking of the FBI, been friends with the family for quite a while. This young man got arrested. He was jailed in Craven County on a variety of charges. Started out with an assault and then a rape of a prostitute. He was placed in jail without benefit of bond. They raised a bond so high that he couldn't get out. Really? And then charges were brought for cases in Onslow County, but they were brought by the Craven County detective or deputy or whatever he was at the time. They were brought by him who did an investigation in Onslow County.
Wow.
This young man stayed in jail for almost 6 years. Couldn't get out. Couldn't get out. 6 years.
There's something not right there.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
they finally came to terms and dropped all the charges.
After 6 years,
See, I don't understand.
violating his
If you do not
constitutional
think
right.
there's something wrong and rotten in Denmark,
Mhm.
I don't know what it was. Now, not to just put disparaging on the detectives, the police, the sheriff's office. It was a different sheriff's office when that whole case started. It was run by a different sheriff. I don't know what the situation is. I do know that the sheriff over there now is a fine guy. He's a retired state trooper, Sheriff Hughes. His second in command, basically, is chief deputy. A great friend of mine in the past. I used to work around him, did some things together, did some things since he retired from the State Bureau of Investigation as a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony Cummins, a great guy. Both of those guys are very good people. Not sure how this thing stayed on the books as long as it did without something being resolved. But
I don't understand how, even though prosecutors didn't note something, you know what I mean?
something
Come
was
on
just,
now.
what course kept in
Attorney's
the loop
office.
if they're not told, I mean, I don't know. They should not have been going along that far.
I agree. That's my point.
Something,
Yes.
Something- a lot of
fell down between
through
the
the
district
cracks.
attorney's office and
Yeah.
the investigator. And I have no doubt there was lots of, we gotta cover this thing up here because it ain't looking good. Can you get rid of that paperwork? Well, probably not. So we'll see.
Well,
Anyway.
I'm anxious to hear their story
I
tonight.
want to know.
Mhm.
And we will find out.
Yeah, we heard it here first.
But a guy lost 6 years of his life.
Right.
Yeah.
And 6 years in jail
And
is
his
probably
reputation and a lot of stress,
Oh,
the
yeah.
mental toll. That's
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say 6 years in jail without going to trial,
Mm-hmm.
falsely accused, as he claims. Charges dropped. Now, what do you do with your life?
Well, wasn't there a huge issue with the fact that his name, there were so many other names the same?
Well,
in
that
the
was one of the
system?
things. They ran his name, and it turns out that
Date and-
how many Kevin Smiths were there with criminal histories in North Carolina?
right.
A boatload.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I don't have a name like a John Smith or anything like that. Good God.
Mhm.
I have a hard enough time running the backgrounds on them. I ran me one time up through the driver's license while I had the dispatcher do. Put my name in the driver's license. There were at that time 7 with the same spelling of me, including one guy who was 2
Oh
days.
my God, there's another Rayford Brown somewhere.
Seven others.
That's
and one of them was
scary.
born 2 days before I was.
Oh, that's
So we had
scary.
the same April birthday almost.
That's why one of the
Scary.
advantages of having a name no one can spell or pronounce. So I've yet to find anybody in North Carolina database that has my name.
Punch in Lee Barrows sometimes and see what you get.
Yeah.
She's
But
really a
that's-
man.
Rayford.
And according to the records that are out there,
What records? There's no records. Just because
I'm
I told you that I won a bowling, our team won a bowling tournament, and I was like 8, 9 years old, and I got the boys trophy instead of the girls because my name was listed as Lee. That does not mean I'm a boy.
You're the one who fessed up. No, I'm saying, but if you run it, you'll probably find some Lee Barrows out there.
Oh, probably,
that are
but I've never
men.
run it as that. I've always run it as my real
I know
name.
you have, but I'm starting to wait. People don't know what your real name is. Tell them what
I
it
do.
is.
No, I don't need to tell anybody
Well,
what my
you want
real
me to tell
name
them?
is. I don't like my real name. I don't talk about it.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, we got.
We'll see you tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
y'all. John Legato, FBI, retired, is going to join us in here. We'll discuss this case that I've been talking about, and a whole lot more too, no doubt about it. So, y'all be safe out there. It's going to be raining.
Yeah.
It may
It's
be
raining
raining
now.
now.
It's going to rain the rest of the
You're
day.
You're going to have rain off and on today. It's
Yes.
more off. And sometimes we got a system coming through here, or a thundercloud or two. So be careful out there, okay? And we'll see you in the morning. You're live and local, real talk, where we're always awake, never woke. Bye, y'all.